you seen anything like that?
No good. Wide right.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go in the end zone. He's going to go in the end zone. The Bears have won. The Bears have won. Oh, my God. You believe in miracles? Yes.
Hit it, Roy Hardy.
It's the Davey Mac Sports Program, where we talk the sports and other stuff, like the Super Bowl halftime show, which is not talking about sports, David. Do not question me on this. It's sports adjacent, but not sports. I mean, I see it as an entertainment and not sports of any kind. So it technically qualifies as other stuff. Yeah, just like I said. Anyway, I'm the musical director of the show, Roy Harder, and here's your host. There he is, Mr. Eastside David Macdonald, everybody. Come on, give it up for him.
Okay,
Hey, David.
Good
morning.
Thank you for the introduction, which I have multiple issues with. Number one, the Super Bowl halftime show would qualify as sports to me. Super Bowl's in the name of the halftime show. And where's the Super Bowl halftime show performed, Roy?
Well, it's on a stage.
It's on a football field at the Super Bowl.
Okay. It's a stage. They move into the stadium, and then they remove it when the band is finished. I don't know.
Secondly, after being preemptively defensive,
Yeah.
you went on a tangent about how it technically qualifies as other stuff and all this other garbage. You never actually talked about the halftime show. You didn't mention Bad Bunny. You didn't mention anything, in fact. You just threw out the other stuff. Super Bowl halftime show qualifies as other stuff. Got very defensive about it.
Yeah.
Started basically attacking myself and Robert to an extent, and maybe even the DMSP audience.
Quite possibly.
and then you just threw it back to me.
That's right, David. If there's no ref,
did you have any? We're not letting you off the hook. Did you have any comments about the halftime show this year?
I do actually, David. If there's no referee on the stage, it's not a sport. Doesn't count. Simple as that. That's the rules, David.
Bruce Springsteen, during his halftime show, brought a ref on stage. And the ref threw a flag at like Clarence Clemens or somebody. It was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. He hit a clam. Clarence hit a clam.
I wasn't into it. I gotta tell you. Tom Petty's still my favorite Super Bowl halftime show. Tom Petty.
Oh, come on.
100%.
You can't top Prince. You can't top Prince, buddy. Come on.
Prince was phenomenal. Yeah. All right, Prince, but Tom Petty number one, Prince number two for me. Robert?
I like the Indiana Jones they did before they started having entertainers at the halftime show. But
like mid-'80s?
Yeah, mid-'80s. My favorite part of the intro, though, was Roy being like, "Don't you dare question me." Then you questioned him right away, and there was no pushback whatsoever from Roy.
There was a lot of things wrong with that introduction. I just want to point out. Did you hear somebody, maybe was it Mark Wahlberg? I don't know if he's angling to reunite I don't know if he's angling to reunite the Funky Bunch and get into the halftime show, but he's critical that there's no other different kinds of acts lately at the halftime show. A lot of rap. Now this year, Bad Bunny's a Spanish, Puerto Rican. Where is he from? Rapper. He's a rapper.
He's Puerto Rican.
Right?
He's
with
Puerto
a name
Rican.
with a name like Bad Bunny, I'm going to say he's definitely from a Southern Hemisphere type of.
Puerto Rican, says Robert, but he qualifies as a rapper, not a pop singer, right? Or is he a pop guy?
I think
depends on how many guys he's got in his entourage. Really, how many guns he's carrying around. That's the only difference separating the two.
No, you mean if he has straight guys entourage,
there you go,
rap star, bunch of gay guys, probably pop.
In that beautiful blend we call Latin music.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Well, this guy's like the new Ricky Martin, I guess, huh? He's
I've
living La
gotten
Vida
sick and
Loca.
tired of complaining about the halftime show because, you know, they never went with Metallica, who pretty much has transcended all races. Everyone loves Metallica. You're not offending anyone if you put Metallica out there. Mariano Rivera from Panama used Metallica, but you've heard rap stars who love Metallica, rock star, country acts who are into Metallica, who have covered Metallica songs.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense that Metallica hasn't gotten a chance for one of these things, but whatever. I don't care. I just don't care anymore. But it is Super Bowl week, and we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl momentarily. But before we do, myself, host of the show, as Roy pointed out, Eastside Dave Macdonald, Roy Harder, the musical director, Bobby Tamburo, the producer. We need to discuss some insanity going on in the NFL, which is Bill Belichick, in his first year of eligibility, did not make the NFL Hall of Fame. You need 40 out of 50 votes from writers and various high-ups in the NFL. Personnel is what they call them. So it's a combination of writers and maybe some former GMs and stuff like that.
So it's fixed, is what you're saying.
You need 40 out of 50. All he needed was 80%. When this guy is a bona fide legend. Here's the only thing you could say. Bill Belichick, if he's not the greatest coach of all time, he's at the very minimum the greatest coach of the 21st century, with Vince Lombardi being the greatest coach of the 20th century. Did I say that right? Belichick is the greatest coach of the 21st century. Yeah. Lombardi's the greatest coach of the 20th century. If you want to have a little battle between which one is better, fine. You do you, as the kids say. But Bill Belichick is next to Lombardi. They're a dual-headed monster because Lombardi's at the beginning of the NFL and the beginning of the Super Bowl. Belichick's when the Super Bowl and the NFL are well established as number one sporting event, number one in sport in America. And he's winning 6. He's getting to 9. He's winning 9 AFC championships, winning 6 Super Bowls. If you just took his Super Bowl record, that would be phenomenal. Being 6-3, well over 500. Just that alone. He's an instant first ballot Hall of Famer. And he was rejected by this stupid committee. At this point, between Notre Dame getting snubbed by the dopey college football playoff selection committee, Don Mattingly getting snubbed by the Major League Baseball Veterans Committee for the Hall of Fame, when I thought the veterans would at least understand how great Donnie was because they all said he was amazing.
Yeah.
And now we got Belichick. What the hell is going on here? You know what? Selection committees, put yourself on the Shizer list.
Shizer! You're the ones that we despise!
I'm just getting over my cold, so I'm very parched. I might have to throw to you for several musical interludes. If you see me getting some sip of water, Roy.
Yeah.
Musical interlude, okay? It doesn't even have to be Shizer.
Okay, buddy.
Let's test it out.
Okay. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime girl. How's that, buddy?
I mean, I didn't say going in a 1930s direction was necessarily, but you know what? I sort of liked it. I did. That was always one of my absolute favorite Looney Tunes, where the frog can do that whole song and dance, and then the one guy sees it and he's like, "Oh my god, I got it!" Like
dollar signs.
He brings the frog to like his construction pals or no, he brings it to like the Grammys or Hollywood. Yeah, but every time he puts him in front of someone important, the frog refuses to do it. And then once they throw him out of the room, the frog starts doing it. I think it ends with him homeless. Yeah. And the frog doing the "Hello, my baby." And he's just like, "I hate you. I should have eaten you years ago." I want to go and watch that cartoon now. Maybe this is the Dayquil talking. So the suspects in this are Bill Polian. Bill Polian was getting suspected. People, the word on the street was Bill Polian was like, for Spygate and Deflategate, Belichick should not be in on the first ballot. First of all, I don't like this whole first ballot thing. You're in or you're not. You're a Hall of Famer or you're not. I get it. Sometimes people don't make it in their first ballot opportunity because the class is stocked. There's a ton of guys. And maybe, if it's 6 guys, right? Maybe guy number 7 in his first year of eligibility doesn't quite get in, but he makes it in eventually. Fine. I got no reason for that. Belichick is one of those guys. He takes priority over everybody else. Mm-hmm. Like, what are we talking about here?
The whole double vote thing is nonsense to me. The 2 stages, it's either you're in or you're not. And what that first vote looks like is almost like a litmus test. Let's make sure this guy doesn't have any skeletons in his closet. Make sure he's not roided up. Make sure whatever.
Here's the thing about this selection committee. It's not up to them to punish Bill Belichick. That was up to Roger Goodell.
That's right.
If you think Roger Goodell did not do a significant enough of a job in punishing the Patriots, go and scream at Roger Goodell. Don't take it out on Belichick. That time is past. Listen, I'm a Yankees fan. The 2017 Houston Astros cheated baseball, and they absolutely cheated Aaron Judge out of a World Series. The Yankees were better than the Dodgers that year. At the very least, we would have had another Yankees-Dodgers World Series, which are gangbusters for ratings. MLB would have loved that. But on top of it, they changed the course of baseball history. The 2017 Astros are the champs, and it should either be the Yankees or Dodgers. And the Yankees were on their way to a championship this year. I'm sorry. They didn't have Ohtani. It's not the Dodgers were not loaded the way they are now. And so that really sucks. My ire goes at Rob Manfred, the baseball commissioner these days, who never did enough. And it ripped off baseball. My ire at this point, yes, I consider the Houston Astros scumbags, but my ire at them is faded, even if they did cheat. I'm still mad at Rob Manfred. The same thing should be with these stupid football people. But they got no guts. Go attack Roger Goodell, Bill Polian. Robert, and by the way, Bill Polian, former general manager of the Indianapolis Colts, who oftentimes watched Belichick beat Peyton Manning and, the Indianapolis Colts in a big spot, Robert.
So I haven't been able to verify this on ESPN or one of the mainstream sources, but according to NBC Sports and a couple other smaller sources, Vahe Gregorian of the Kansas City Star is one of the people who did not vote for Belichick.
Get Vahe Gregorian. First of all, what kind of name is that? Is he some Russian gangster who's, going to be stealing all of Roy's rubles?
Yeah, right? How did he end up in Kansas City?
Yeah. Which, by the way, sounds like a nice little eatery in Moscow.
I got this fantastic meal at the Vahe Gregorian. You have to check it out.
No, I'm talking about Roy's rubles.
Oh, even better.
Oh, yes. Roy's rubles. Yeah, it sounds like they make American cheeseburger. Very good at Roy's rubles. Yes. Mainly American cuisine. And sausage. Lots of hamburgers, hot dogs, and sausage. Very good.
I like to think it's just a copyright infringement. Ripping off McDonald's. Everything's the same except it's 2 R's that make the golden M.
Oh yeah. I should open up a McDonald's.
I mean, you could pull it off, David. You already have the last name.
That's right. And then it could be like, hey, what are you doing? It's my last name. You're either going to have to kill me.
Yeah. That was actually tried, David. Somebody did actually have a restaurant with the last name McDonald's It was a Scottish restaurant, and they sued Macdonald's, the actual corporation, and they lost.
Who? The regular guy?
The actual McDonald, yes, restaurant. When I say the actual, I mean the non-corporate entity, the family-owned restaurant.
The Scottish guy.
The Scottish guy, yes.
The Scottish guy lost.
Yeah, he lost. Yeah, he lost lawsuit.
But does he have the plethora to back him up that Dave does? Like, that's not Ronald McDonald we're ripping off. That's FT the Clown, a character that Dave has established for years.
That's true. Plethora of what, though? Isn't plethora just means a lot?
I said a plethora of history.
Oh, plethora of history. Okay, good. Thank you.
I do not think that word means what you think it means.
I still think he's using plethora wrong, but
I think so too.
Plethora means a lot of.
Well, it just doesn't feel right to Roy or myself.
I'll dumb my language down going forward.
Don't forget. Here's the one thing you must always remember: 740 out of 800 on my verbal SATs. Okay.
Impressive.
Now I'm not going to discuss my math score at all. Somehow I still owe them 250 points, which I don't know how that's legal. I guess it's like a student loan. They're like, you still have to do 15 multiplication problems correctly to just, break even, Dave, man. But my verbal, through the roof, dog. I would say I have one of the best vocabularies of any three of us on this show.
Oh, now there's a challenge, David, because I'll step up to the plate on that one, so to speak.
Please, I invite you to step up to this linguistic challenge and impromptu vocabulary battle, if you will.
Well, David, I will assess the approximation of that challenge that you have presented before myself. And I believe that I will accept that affiliation and come out preponderous on top. Thank you.
Well, okay. You know what? I think Roy wins because I don't know what affiliation means.
I got to argue there. I believe Roy's anti-disestablishmentarianism is really dragging our show down.
Oh, shit. I guess Robert won. Now Roy and I look like a couple of stupid idiots.
No, I just made that up. I wanted to see him.
So Bill Polian's one guy who people are saying threw Belichick under the bus. They were saying he was out and about in front of this selection committee, bringing up the Deflategate, bringing up the cheating and whatnot. The cheating never bothered me because I'm not a Jets fan. I'm a Giants fan. Bill Belichick was a defensive coordinator for the New York Football Giants when they won 2 Super Bowls. When he coached under Bill Parcells. I've actually had a soft spot in my heart for Bill Belichick, quite frankly. A couple of years ago, he is the guy who I wanted to fire Brian Daboll 2 years ago.
I remember that
and wanted them to hire Belichick, but they didn't listen. So no issues with Bill Belichick. In my opinion, who doesn't do Spygate? I can guarantee you there's 30 teams out there with people recording teams' games, practice, or they're at least attempting to. Deflategate was not on Belichick in any way, shape, or form. Bill Belichick is the head coach of a football team. Mm-hmm. You think he has enough time to go around before the game weighing footballs? Seeing how much each and every football weighs, and if it's below or above the parameters, he's taking out a marker and going, "No, X this football." Come on, guys.
Remember that scene in Casino where he's eating the blueberry when De Niro's eating the blueberry muffin and he finds there's too many blueberries. That's him with the footballs.
Yeah. An equal amount of blueberries. I always say I love that chef because his mouth never moves. He's like a ventriloquist puppet operator. He goes like, when De Niro goes, an equal amount of blueberries. The guy's like, do you know how long that's going to take? I don't care how long it's going to take. An equal amount. But I just love that. Do you know how long it's going to take? I love that guy. That's my favorite cameo of any movie in my entire. I wish I could get a T-shirt of. Oh my God, I have to give a shout out. Speaking of T-shirts, you guys ready for something fun?
Hell
Yeah.
Roy, now's the time for one of your musical interludes.
Okay. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Oh, here he is.
Holy cow.
What you got there, David? That's looking pretty snazzy.
Looking sharp.
Whoa, and an orange.
Whoa.
It's whatever it is, it's reversible. I can see that.
That looks like a Letterman jacket for the Knicks. Did you play for the Knicks, Dave?
I can't quite tell.
I
what
did
the team
not,
is.
and I have to thank Charles who sent me this jacket. The note. Look at this thing.
That's amazing.
That's a jacket,
This is a
buddy.
phenomenal coat.
Turn around so we
Yeah.
can see the back.
Yeah, what's
Oh,
the
yeah.
back say? Number one homo.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I got the cat jersey.
I have to say, Charles, thank you. This is unbelievable. I got home insanely from the Knicks game. And yeah. And there was a big box. I'm like, what the heck is this? It's signed to me. David Macdonald. I open it up. Oh my God, look at this thing, I says. No note.
No note.
I go, what the hell? I want to give credit. So I
Yeah.
went on my old Patreon because I knew it was one of those wonderful Patreons. Mm-hmm. And it pays off to be a Patreon, folks. New episode of Tales from the Satellite just debuted yesterday. We now I put up the podcast version, the audio only version, in addition to the video version, because some people say they like just listening. I go, boom. So now you get two. You get your option, Patreons. And also more bonus material and early releases like the Davey Mac Sports Program. If you're on Patreon, it comes out an hour, 2, sometimes 3 hours before it arrives on the old YouTube and the podcasting, the iTunes, the Spotify's. But I went on Patreon and I just said, I put on the code. I said, could someone please tell me who this was? Someone please take credit for this so I can give you a shout out. I got a DM and just one DM. So I believe Charles 100%. Charles said, Davey Mac, it was me. There was supposed to be a note. It said, keep on keeping on or something to that effect. Actually, it didn't say that at all. And I don't know why. I don't know why I even brought up that bumper sticker as a note that he did not say it. It had a very nice message to it. Basically, he said, you know what I admire about you, Davey Mac? You face lots and lots of challenges and you never give up. You are a resilient, if not tough, MFer. And I go, you're right. You're right. I'm the most resilient, tough MFer of all time. He didn't say humility was one of my attributes. He said resilience and toughness. Because remember, Robert, I ran into Roy, this guy from Sirius XM. His name is Gil Edwards. He's a former program director at Sirius XM. Mm-hmm. We ran into him one time. And I don't remember this, but the guy's like, oh, yeah, you used to give me shit on the Ron and Fez show. I'm like, me? I'm like, I don't recall that at all. Are you sure? In any event, he wasn't mad about it. He's like, nah, yeah, don't worry. That was years ago. He goes, I admire you, man. You might get kicked down, but you always rise up. You always rise up. You're a resilient guy. So it's, for whatever reason, people have noticed that in the last few months or so. And you know what? Thank you. Thank you for noticing. And just keep your fingers crossed, because the Davey Mac Sports Program, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying the future is bright, Robert.
I just want to make sure your story is legit. I don't know if you've been following the news lately, but Bert Kreischer was on Club Shay Shay And Shannon kept saying, so you lost it all and built it all back. And Bert was like, yeah. And he had all these stories. And then it came out. He never lost anything. He just was too nervous to correct Shannon Sharp. So they did an hour-long episode about Bert Kreischer losing all of his money and getting it back, built on lies. So you actually are resilient, unlike Bert.
Is Bert that fat guy?
Yeah, the one who takes his shirt off all the time.
Oh,
he was on the show, and I'm not joking, an hour long talking about, and then my dad pulled me aside and was like, it'll be okay. And my wife spent all the money and was like, she said I'm bad luck. None of the stories were true.
Bert Kreischer hasn't been through a 10th of the things I've been through in my life. Maybe in the last 10 years alone. So enough, Bert Kreischer. Talk about a guy who just got spoon-fed the world. And trust me, that's a lot of spoons. If you got to I mean, you'd think at some point you could just translate or transform all that fatness into muscle, but nope.
Well, I mean, I'm not speaking for myself, but have you and Bert ever crossed paths, David?
I told you. I crossed paths. I went backstage to Jay Moore invited me to a comedy to him doing the Count Basie Theater in Red Bank, and I was backstage, and Jay said, and I was there with my then wife, and that's important because in the story, I'm backstage, we're hanging out, we're laughing, chit-chatting, and then Jay says, oh, go around the corner, I got a surprise for you. And so I'm like, okay, what's going to happen here? Is it going to be like a, usual suspect scenario where some guy's sitting on the top of a bookshelf or an elevator and he's going to shoot me in the head? I make the turn. I go into a different room backstage. Yeah. It's Bert Kreischer, completely nude, with the penis tucked back like the Silence of the Lambs maneuver.
Oh, yeah.
The Buffalo Bill tucking it in between your legs so you have the appearance of a woman. I'm there with my then wife. I mean, that's the reason. That was the reason for the divorce right there. And that's the only time he didn't I think then afterwards, Jay Moore introduced him, and he's like, oh, yeah, this is Bert. It's really funny.
So you didn't even know the guy. It's just this random naked guy when you walk around the corner.
He was dude, this is I don't know, 2008?
Yeah, he wasn't a thing
and this was just a guy named Bert opening up for Jay Moore. And I'm like, okay. I know I do stunts, too, on the radio, Jay, but I also am witty and write things down and come up with these things called bits and characters that pound for pound are every bit as good as anything you'll see on Saturday Night Live. So eat it.
Absolutely.
That's what I said.
Bert Kreischer. Shots fired.
I like that you were afraid it was going to be a usual suspect.
The other thing.
And then this was worse.
Yeah. It's a fucking fat naked
Far
guy.
worse, actually. Yeah. The other suspect in this problem, this issue, was Robert Kraft. People are saying that Kraft, now, at a certain point, Robert Kraft needs to get over himself. The reason why the Patriots won those 6 championships were Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. That's it. Okay? It's not Robert Kraft. It was Brady and Belichick the whole time. So, I don't know what Robert Kraft, you made your move. You fired the guy. It's over. Now your team's heading back into the Super Bowl. You're still bitter? What the hell did Bill Belichick do to this guy? How fractured was their relationship that Kraft is still angry at him, apparently?
Those high rollers, man, they can't let shit go. Excuse me.
Well, the guy needs to chill out, ease some pain, maybe visit a massage parlor or two.
Well, see, that's the speculation, Dave. We know Belichick, based on what he did in North Carolina, likes the ladies. And a lot of people are speculating he took Robert Kraft's favorite masseuse. And that's what fractured their relationship.
I mean, not to be any kind of thing. I thought they were Asian masseuses that Kraft was going to. Am I wrong about that?
Well,
was that
when his beautiful Swedish one got taken away, what do you think he had to resort to? I'm not going to get heartbroken twice. You know, when your girl breaks up with you, you go hook up with a bunch of fours to get over it.
Now, the other snubbing is my man. Eli Manning once again makes it all the way to the finals. He's a finalist for the NFL Hall of Fame, and once again, they say no. Folks, this is beyond stupid. We all acknowledge that Tom Brady's the GOAT. 7 Super Bowls out of 10 opportunities makes him the GOAT. He is the GOAT. If Mahomes gets to 8, he'll be the GOAT. But by the way, Mahomes has to get to 8 because if he's tied with Brady, Brady beat Mahomes head-to-head in the Super Bowl. Sorry, but it's like any other sport. If they're tied, Brady has a head-to-head advantage over Mahomes. So Mahomes needs to get to 8 Super Bowls. Could he? Maybe. If the Chiefs are able to pull off a Patriots thing where they basically create 2 dynasties with the same quarterback. But that's the only way that's going to happen. You can't be a GOAT. And then the Eli Manning goes and defeats the GOAT not once, but twice in the Super Bowl. Is the Super Bowl MVP in both of those games. And anyone who actually understands football and watches football knows that Eli Manning didn't play well just for those 2 games. And that's what they oftentimes make it sound like, that Eli Manning played brilliantly throughout both of those playoff runs. In all 8 of those games, he only threw 1 interception, and it went off a Giants wide receiver, Steve Smith's hands. That was it. 8 games, that's half a season. 1 pick, and it went off a Giants' hands. Furthermore, he was great in the entire seasons. He had 9 come from behind wins in the second Giants Super Bowl. Furthermore, he's thrown for 366 career touchdowns. That's good enough for 11th on the all-time list. 11th. And by the way, a Giants organization that's been in the NFL for 100 years and has 4 Super Bowls. Yeah, this last decade has been an embarrassment, but they got Harbaugh and they're on their way up, except for the Steve Tisch is in the Epstein files. We'll get to that later, but anyway, the Giants organization has been one under the Mara family of complete class. They don't always make the right football decisions. See Joe Shane. But it's an organization that's been in the NFL since its inception, essentially, 100 years. And Eli has the most touchdowns. He's the best quarterback by far in Giants history. There's not another Giants quarterback who's even thrown for 200 touchdowns. Eli just bypassed that and went to 366. Again, 11th all-time in the NFL. Made the Pro Bowl 4 times, I believe. 2-time Super Bowl MVP, including beating a team that was literally unbeatable. The first Super Bowl, because everyone's memories are just shot these days. So now I have to remind you about this guy's resume. The first Super Bowl, the Patriots going into the game were 18-0. They hadn't lost. They were literally an unbeatable team with the greatest quarterback ever. And despite what the stupid NFL committee says, the greatest head coach ever. And Eli defeats them, plays brilliantly in the game, as he did in all the games. Eli Manning is an easy Hall of Famer. To not understand that means you don't get football. You're putting too much emphasis on meaningless regular season stats than you are understanding the history of the game. Someone was bringing up for years and years, the NFL Hall of Fame selection committee, their golden rule is, can you tell the history of the game without this coach or player? Well, you can't tell the history of the game without an underdog New York Football Giants and Eli Manning in only year 4 defeating an 18-0 Tom Brady, Randy Moss, Bill Belichick juggernaut. The greatest upset in the history of the Super Bowl. That's not my opinion. That's a fact. You can't tell the story of the NFL without that. But then, just to make sure that everyone knew he wasn't a lucky duck, he backed it up 3 years later, beating the same amazing players. What are we talking about? NFL Selection Committee, Major League Baseball Selection Committee, all selection committees. Shizer, you're the ones that we despise.
You said the Patriots had their run with Brady because they built 2 dynasties with the same quarterback. The one guy who beat both of those dynasties was Eli Manning. How do you not put him in the Hall of Fame?
It's when you look at what Eli accomplished, this is an easy decision. This isn't difficult.
The last time I saw something this atrocious, it was when the New Jersey Hall of Fame kept out Eastside Dave Macdonald.
You know what? I should have had them on the Shizer list too. You motherfuckers.
Too late, David. That Shizer has sailed. Oh no, it comes around once a year, and once a year I submit myself. And this year I got my mother to submit an application for me. It's all you have to do is just fill out a few questions online. It's not like you actually have to sit down and do paperwork. And you're like, who do you think should be in the New Jersey Hall of Fame and why? And blah blah blah. This is ridiculous. Yeah.
I need to have something light because I'm bothered. So I want to before we get into Super Bowl talk, I want to discuss this boxer.
Oh, I know exactly where you go with this one, David.
Jarrell Miller.
Yeah.
Had his toupee knocked off his head in the boxing match. Here's the clip.
Is it coming off? What is happening here? It is.
Oh, wow.
He's losing his hair. This before, but a fighter is getting the hair knocked off his head, Sergio.
Wow. That social media, that's like a cartoon.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
This guy's great.
Yeah, I've seen a lot.
I'll tell you what. I'm not going to forget the name.
No.
Jarrell Miller anytime soon. If his whole thing was I gotta make my name known somehow. I gotta I'm ending the my boxing career is coming to an end. I think he was clearly losing the fight. So you know what? Maybe I'll just do something insane and do this toupee bit. And by the way, if he did that, I would actually give him even more credit.
Of course.
If this was a premeditated, I'm going to come in with some sort of crazy ass gimmick of literally having the hair punched off of me.
Yeah. Dude.
That was fantastic.
Watch it like 100 times.
Oh my God.
So funny.
I mean, I'd be pretty perturbed. I guess the one place he did not go is to Maury's Wigs.
No, he did not go to Maury.
Because, as we know, Maury's wigs never come off. Remember when Maury jumped in the pool, too? The wig even stayed on there.
It was an amazing jump cut, as we say.
But it reminded me of Maury's Wigs when De Niro started choking him with the telephone wire. because he wanted his money, and that's actually, ironically, when the toupee finally came off. I mean, talk about like Scorsese's like brilliant attention to detail.
Yeah.
The guy's wig never comes off. We never see him without it until De Niro chokes him. And then Ray Liotta starts laughing at the whole thing.
You know the best part about that?
And then De Niro interrupts his strangling because they get a phone call. Remember? He picks this up. It's for you, Henry. And De Niro's like, take the phone call. We'll get back to the strangulation in 3 minutes.
You know, the best part about that whole boxing scene was the fact that he threw out his wig into the audience and some woman caught it, was wearing it for the rest of the night.
Oh, man. If I was there, I would have instantly put it on my head and started wearing it.
Of course. That's like a crown.
I'd wear it. Yeah.
That's like the Shroud of Turin. That's going to be worth a fortune, that fucking wig. Oh, my God.
That is some really good stuff right there.
I think the other fighter should have gotten to keep the hair. Like it's a scalping back in the Native American days.
Oh, that would be fun.
I took this. But I got to point this out. This is a win for bald people everywhere. Just be confident. Shave your head. My hair's so bad, I had a friend from college hit me up and was like, hey, man, I own a transplant clinic in Turkey. If you want to fly out, I'll hook you up. But you just lean into it. It could be worse. You could get your hair knocked off in the middle of a boxing match.
Hey, what? Hold on.
Fight, he loses.
Why didn't you take up your friend and go to Turkey?
I don't know if they have the highest quality standards in Turkey, to be honest with you. Also,
I think they use goat plugs in Turkey. For your hair.
Yeah, I thought Turkey was like the wig capital of the world. Aren't they known for like making rugs or
rugs? Yes, but this is like a medical procedure where they're going to transplant hair. And I already, as an Irish Roman Catholic, get accused of looking Arabic enough. I don't think getting a hair transplant in the Middle East is perhaps the best.
Did you mean to say Irish when you're Italian?
I'm half Irish, half Italian.
Oh, come on. There's nothing about you that's Irish.
I mean, you should see me when the Northern Irish are around. I'm out, black and tan. Come fight me like
a man. All right.
I'll put a ski mask on.
All right. Now, let's get to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Because the Super Bowl is this Sunday, and we are talking about the Seattle Seahawks taking on the New England Patriots. We got Sam Darnold, the amazing comeback story. I mean, he was great last year with the Vikings, and I'm sure they're regretting it. But nevertheless, they moved on. Sam Darnold making waves in Seattle. Drake Maye, the young quarterback, he looks excellent. Mike Macdonald, the young Seahawks coach, no relation.
I was about to say.
And that goes, and he's going against Mike Vrabel, who it's still completely confounding that the Tennessee Titans fired Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel was never, ever, ever, ever the problem. Ryan Tannehill was the problem. Or whoever the freaking quarterback. Yeah, it was Tannehill, right? Tannehill with the Dolphins, then he went over to the Titans. Regardless, Vrabel never had a big-time QB, and this Drake Maye looks like he may be the guy. No pun intended.
You're saying Drake Maye?
He may be the guy. I'm not 100% convinced on Drake Maye. I saw Ryan Clark deliver yet another stupid opinion where he's like, this game, all the pressure is on Sam Darnold because, he's been around the league and this and that. Yeah, he's been dumped by teams around the league. He was a cast-off, including the Minnesota Vikings when he was a Pro Bowler last year and played brilliantly for them. Yes, I know he didn't play great down the stretch or in the playoffs, but it was also his first time playing big-time, meaningful football late in the season. You might have wanted to run it back with Sam Darnold since he also produced a lot of numbers and was quite happy and well-received by Justin Jefferson. One of, if not the best wide receiver in the entire game, who just was asked on a podcast, hey, how about Sam Darnold, going to the Seattle Seahawks? I mean, do you think you guys should have kept him? And he's like, we would have had a much better year with Sam Darnold. He wasn't trying to even throw shade at J.J. McCarthy. He was just simply saying, we would have been better. Yep. We would have had a better year. They were 9-8, by the way. The Minnesota Vikings were. Justin Jefferson is saying, yeah, we would have had a better year. We would have absolutely had a better season with Sam Darnold. So it goes to yet another question of these general managers in sports. They don't know what they're doing. They're like the rest of us. They just make bizarre decisions one after another to justify their very stupid existence. And that's all they do. They like to make moves because otherwise people are like, well, what are you doing? I guess I got to make these moves. I'm starting to be convinced that the general manager position might be the stupidest position in all of sports.
Oh, there's a take.
If I'm a head coach, I want full say now. And you get some guy called, I don't know, the financial manager, because the head coach doesn't need to be working on contracts. But basically, head coach should be in charge of building a scouting team with people that he trusts. And then you go and then you allow that scouting team to go out and scout college kids, but also other NFL teams, so that free agents, trades, draft picks, you're covered on all bases. And then you bring in the dopey financial manager to make the contracts work. Because you can't tell me I've been looking at Joe Schoen and Brian Cashman as a Giants and Yankees fan. They're completely clueless. They make decisions that any normal fan would say, this is a bad decision. They do it anyway, and it inevitably becomes a really bad decision. Golly. So, what do you like here? Who do you like, Roy? Who do you like, Robert? I mean, this is a big game. I want this to be our football. By the way, former New York Football Giants Julian Love, who the Giants should have kept on the team, and Leonard Williams, who the Giants also probably should have kept on the team. They're both playing with Seattle. Meanwhile, former Giants backup quarterback, Tommy Chicken Cutlets, and Ben, and former head coach. Ben, I benched Eli Manning to ruin his consecutive game streak. McAdoo is on the Patriots. So to me, advantage Seahawks. I'm rooting for the Seahawks because of their former Giants, and I'm against the Patriots. I'm not exactly against Tommy Chicken Cutlets, but I'm definitely against his Weasley manager who destroyed all of Tommy Chicken Cutlets' vibe when he pulled an Ultimate Warrior, as we call it in the biz, Roy. He got $10,000 from a local deli, a mom and pop deli in Jersey, to show up and sign autographs for 2 hours. A line around outside the block, around the corner. This is when he was, because everyone got hurt. Daniel Jones got hurt. The other backup quarterback got hurt. So they had to put in Tommy Chicken Cutlets, and he actually was winning a couple games here and there. So this is at the height of his very fleeting fame. This guy was always going to be Linsanity Part 2. And yet his manager, his little agent, this little Sopranos, character, not even. He was almost cartoonish to the point where he looked like the skinny gangster from The Simpsons. Yep. You know how you have, you got like Fat Tony, but then he has like a few henchmen.
Yeah,
one of his henchmen looks exactly like Tommy DeVito's agent. This guy goes into the deli and goes, yeah, Tommy's not actually showing up unless you give us $20,000.
Oh, my God. Shakedown. That's an Ultimate Warrior special. It's what Ultimate Warrior did to Vince McMahon before going out for SummerSlam one year. So the deli rightfully said, well, I guess we're going to cancel the appearance. You guys are liars. And then they went on social media and said, this is what happened. And I 100% believe their story. In fact, it was never denied by Tommy Cheese Cutlets freaking family in any way.
Chicken cutlets or whatever. I'm getting no, you know why? Tommy Cheeseballs is a guy from the Jersey Shore that they did an MTV documentary on. Jersey Shore. I own a home at it was MTV, whatever that documentary series was. And one was I own a home at the Jersey Shore. And it was the star of the show was Tommy Cheeseballs. And I always said he should have sued the cast of Jersey Shore for every single penny they got. He was the original Jersey Shore, only in a 1-hour documentary before it existed. But anyway, the point being, I fell out of love with Tommy Chicken Cutlets right then and there. As for Ben McAdoo, Eli Manning was on something crazy like 145 consecutive game wins playing streak as a starting quarterback in the NFL. And it's not like he wasn't hurt. There was one time where he separated his shoulder so badly. They go, Eli's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. And he showed up that very Sunday.
Yeah.
The same report on Monday, Eli separated shoulder, out 6 to 8 weeks. And then all of a sudden on Sunday, he's playing. So the guy played hurt, actually injured time and time again. And Ben McAdoo sits Eli Manning for Geno Smith. And I know Geno Smith was a 1-year wonder for Seattle, and that's all he was, folks. Maybe a year and a half. But Geno Smith, Jets, horrible. Geno Smith, Raiders, horrible. Geno Smith is horrible. You don't sit Eli Manning for Geno Smith, the interception machine known as Geno Smith. You don't do it. So McAdoo, I've wanted nothing but pain and suffering for him ever since. Somehow he's a defensive advisor. I don't even know these positions anymore. He's the advisor on defense. Okay. Wow. So I'm going for Seattle. I want Jets fans to be miserable. They had Sam Darnold. He was their quarterback, taken third in the draft. I want them to feel what it was like for us Giants watching Saquon run around. Incidentally, the same draft. So I want them to feel what it's like to have, your best player stupidly get released, parted ways, traded, free agent, however you want to say it. And the guy goes to another team and wins a Super Bowl. That was as painful as it could get to a Giants fan, even though it was completely unpredictable. I knew Saquon. I literally predicted that Saquon would run the Eagles into a Super Bowl before the NFL season happened last year. On the preview special, the NFL 2024 regular season preview special. Regardless, I'm going Seattle Seahawks 31. Okay. New England Patriots 6. Here's why what Ryan Clark said was stupid. Sam Darnold actually has nothing to lose. He's been discarded trash. He's looked at as a journeyman now, even though all of a sudden his stats are getting really, really good. And maybe he's a cut above a journeyman. Maybe he's into your Brad Johnson category, who made a Pro Bowl or 2, I believe, and then wins a championship with the Tampa Bay Bucks. Maybe he's in that category. But then Ryan Clark goes, as for Drake Maye, he's young. This is only his second year. He'll be back. Okay. This is why you shouldn't have brainless nincompoops such as Ryan Clark on your airwaves. Because there's a little guy named Dan Marino who made it to the Super Bowl his second year. And he never got back to the Super Bowl. Because in sports, sometimes that's just what happens. If you don't even want to go with 1980s, fairly recently, we had a young quarterback named Jared Goff get to the Super Bowl with the Rams. Did he get back? The answer is no. He got his ass booted to Detroit, and then he's come up short for Detroit. And there's no guarantee that Jared Goff's ever going to get back to a Super Bowl. At this point, I'm starting to think the Lions might not have the right guy. Of all the teams that should have been looking to get the new quarterback, it shouldn't have been the Vikings, in my opinion, start looking at Goff. Just saying. So Ryan Clark again says another bozo comment where he knows nothing about football. He doesn't understand the history of football. There's no guarantee that you're going to get back. There's none whatsoever. Does anyone remember Gus Frerotte when he was a big deal for the Panthers? Yeah, you don't even know the name. Roy doesn't even know the name Gus Frerotte, who was considered to be like the new Favre. He's a gunslinger for the Carolina Panthers. And they got into the Super Bowl against the Patriots. And it was a very entertaining game. And then what happened? They lost. Did we ever hear from Gus Frerotte again? No. Went to the Washington, football team, and then his career just fizzled out. And everyone's like, oh, he's never quite as good as that one year where he got to the Super Bowl. I'm not convinced that Drake Maye is just going to be Mr. Household Name. If it happens, it happens. Fine. I'm not convinced that this Drake Maye is going to be back to the Super Bowl every year. Robert, what about you?
So, I mean, you could look at stats and analytics and everything you want till your eyes bleed, but that's not what we do. We look at sports here on the Davey Mac Sports Program. And sure, Mike Vrabel is a hell of a coach. He's got the resume. He seems to know what he's doing. But for me, these games seem to come down to one player. And I know it's football. There's 22 guys, but these games come down to the X factor. And I got to be honest, I feel like Sam Darnold's story, even if it's not enough to motivate him, all the other people it's inspiring out there. Like, hey, they told you weren't good enough. Yes, you were. You knew deep down. Keep fighting. Don't give up. It would have been very easy to walk away, become a coach at some D3 school. But no, he stuck with it. He's doing it for not just himself, all the other people who had a dream. So for me, I'm going with the Seahawks as much as it hurts me to root for the Seahawks. And I'm going to say it's going to be a close game, actually. I'm going 40-33 on a game-winning drive.
Wow, that's a lot of points.
That's a very high-scoring game.
It's a big score.
Super Bowl, yeah. Wow.
Roy,
David,
what do you like?
Well, like Bobby, I'm not a big fan of the whole analytics, but analytically, I will say I've been looking at the data. We are entering the age of Aquarius. We're coming up into Pisces now, and that's a water sign. So I'm going with the Seahawks. It's there in black and white. You can't argue with the cosmology, David. And interestingly enough, even the number is going to have a cosmological. It's the score. I mean, is going to have a cosmological affiliation, and it's going to be 13-22. 22-13
Seahawks.
Hey, listen, it's in the stars, buddy.
In one of the more rambling predictions since Mike Francesa.
Yeah, I've been doing my homework, David. I've been doing my homework.
Yeah, Mike Francesa here. Bet Rivers. Make sure you're putting in your bets for the Super Bowl, for the big game. Roy's not wrong with his cosmology. You know, you got the Aquarius. You got Scorpio. Sagittarius. It's like my wife, Ro, said to me, Mike, I'm reading the horoscopes right here in the Post. You know, we always get the New York Post and the Daily News. And then, in my opinion, the only newspaper of journalistic integrity, the National Enquirer. You know, after I finished the Post and the Daily News, I went to the National Enquirer the other day, and it said JFK, still alive, had sex change operation, and gave birth to a clone of John Jr. Somehow, he was able to extract some of John's DNA and put it in his own stomach post-surgery. And I think it came out of his buttocks, the baby. And then on there it goes, This is National Enquirer, of course. Goes, Area 51 finally revealed what it's been hiding all these years. I go, oh, this is going to be exciting. This is going to be something fun. 8 spaceships and a little alien being named J-Rod. I go, any relation to A-Rod? Now, and don't get me started. I'm talking, of course, about Alex Rodriguez and not Andy Roddick, the tennis player. How people tried to get A-Rod over as Andy Roddick. I'm like, Andy Roddick, he ain't never win Wimbledon. I'm supposed to be calling Andy Roddick A-Rod when all I do is see him lose to Federer at Wimbledon? Anyway, they say there's one scientist who talked to J-Rod, the alien. And he said J-Rod would talk back to him, but wouldn't open his mouth. So I think they call that telepathy. I know I'm supposed to be discussing the Super Bowl here, but you forget, Mike Non Sequitur Francesa has a lot of fun ramblings that he likes to talk about. I had this one joke. I go, there's a documentary called Inside Job. Imagine if you were a producer on that movie and you sabotaged it. It would be like doing an inside job on Inside Job. I texted that joke to Christopher Mad Dog Russo, my former radio partner. No response. Nothing. Mad Dog's too busy hanging out with Stephen A. at the Knicks games. He can't be bothered to text back his friend Mike Francesa. You know, he's shaking hands with Tracy Morgan and Spike Lee over there. I'm like, hey, dog, you're a Caucasian. I'm just saying, they're not, they might smile and shake your hand, but you're not going to be welcome into that into that cookout anytime soon. You're one of the most Caucasian people on the planet Earth, in fact. I'm not trying to talk out of school, but a man named Eastside Dave told me one time he spotted you at a Bruce Springsteen concert in Madison Square Garden years ago. And he told me, never in my life have I seen more unrhythmic, spasmodic dancing ever. This guy Dave told me he called CPR because he was pretty sure you were having an epileptic seizure. Anyway, Seahawks 28, Patriots 24. I'm Mike Francesa. Go fuck yourselves, America.
I just gotta say, if all 4 of us pick the Seahawks and you're a gambler, you should probably bet on the Giants.
Well, especially Francesa.
Yeah, that's what's
he is prediction kryptonite. He is gambling poison. I think they even showed just this year's playoffs. He's well below 500 on this year's playoffs alone.
Isn't his whole podcast brought to you by a gambling app?
Never has a guy been more wrong about predictions in sports in the history of mankind. He's always wrong.
I bet you I got Mike beat. Maybe not.
Real quick, basketball. It's 1 year ago to the day that Luka Doncic was traded by then Dallas Mavericks general manager Nico Harrison to the Lakers. Since then, all that's happened is Nico Harrison has been fired because Anthony Davis, who he traded Luka for, has just consistently been hurt, which was really predictable since throughout his entire NBA career, Anthony Davis has been consistently hurt. He'll have a unicorn season where he plays 65 games like every 6 years. And then he goes back to just being the hurt guy.
Wow.
At least Greg Oden had the humility to just retire.
Right. Luka's 5 years young. It will always be the worst deal. And then months afterwards, they asked Nico Harrison. He goes, I didn't realize how much he meant to the fan base. I guess I got the. And this is everything that I say about general managers. Joe Shane, Nico Harrison, Joe Douglas of the Jets, who turned the page real quick on Sam Darnold. None of them know anything. We should not allow ourselves to be tricked by the media anymore into thinking that these general managers have any brains whatsoever. They're just as BSy as anyone doing radio, doing podcasting. They don't know what they're talking about.
If only there was some model that showed your idea of just having the head coach kind of handle it all would work. You know, like the NCAA, where that's how it literally operates. The head coach does all the recruiting and signing, and it works perfectly. That's how you build dynasties.
And also, people point out, well, they wouldn't have gotten Cooper Flagg. Well, hold on. The team was not playing well. Mm-hmm. And on top of it, they weren't supposed to get Cooper Flagg, after the trade was made. The NBA, which I like because it prevents teams from tanking all the time, the NBA does it where the bottom 10 teams then go into a raffle. And we raffle off to see who those 10 teams are. So you can't be a bad team and just basically punish your fans by saying we're not going to try at all. The NFL has this as a real serious issue. But the Mavericks, they got lucky through the lottery. My point being, if the Mavericks, even with Luka, there was a chance they were going to enter that top 10, which means there was a chance that they would have gotten this Cooper Flagg anyway, which then means, can you imagine Luka and Cooper Flagg on the same team? Holy mackerel. Because this Cooper Flagg is doing insane things. Just had 49 points the other night and then backed that up with a 34-point game. He's becoming – the guy's 19 on top of it.
Yeah. Young kid.
Robert?
I can't sit here and just pretend like I think – it was just Nico Harris made a bad decision to send the greatest up-and-coming player in the NBA to the biggest international franchise in the NBA. And then it was pure coincidence that against all the lottery odds, the team that got rid of that superstar got another superstar in the draft. It just seems a little coincidental for me.
I mean, you give it there's okay. There's a little smoke to that conspiracy fire, I suppose.
But there's no history of that. At all.
I genuinely believe, though, that it is just another inept general manager because we can provide countless examples. I mean, we just showed Joe Shane let Julian Love walk for basically nothing. He wanted to return as a Giant. He was considered to be a defensive leader, if not the leader of the team, and was really good. And the Giants have had secondary problems forever. And this guy can play in the secondary. And they just, we don't want to pay you because according to my chart, you're not worth $12 million. That's the Joe Shane. These general managers truly don't know what they're doing. They go by charts and analytics and databases and printouts. They don't go by watching sports and knowing ball, as the kids say. By the way, the Knicks back into second place in the East. Since my daughter and I went to the game in Madison Square Garden, the Knicks have won 6 in a row.
Wow.
Oh.
6 in a row. Again, I'm the proof. I am the New York Knicks' good luck charm of all time. Let's be honest. Since Spike Lee started showing up in the front row, have the Knicks won anything?
No.
No.
I hear they choked.
And I'm not even trying to. Tracy Morgan, Ben Stiller, Matthew Modine. I'm a fan of all these people, but you're obviously all a bunch of jinxes. Dave Mann's gone to 7 Knicks games in his career, in my fandom career. And I've gone to 7 games. The Knicks are 7-0. And the last game, they beat the Nets by 54 points, a franchise record. So now I'm seeing franchise records. And then on top of it, they go on a 6-game win streak from there. Knicks, all I'm saying is maybe I'm not an A-lister right now, but that could always change. Put me in the A-lister spot. Start getting the A-lister train moving, because you're giving yourselves a good luck charm, a 4-leaf clover right there. I'm convinced that if I start getting put in the front row by the Garden, the Knicks are going to win the NBA Finals. I'm convinced of it.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Well, let's at least test it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And if it works, when you do blow up and you are an A-lister, it'll be like one of those heartwarming stories. Even before he could afford it, Eastside Dave was at the courtside of all the Knicks games. We won't tell him they were giving you the seats.
Exactly. By the way, Jalen Brunson named an all-star starter, and Karl Anthony Towns voted into the all-star team by the coaches, who yet again recognize Cat as the player he is, Robert.
Oh, I was just going to say, I wonder how he got all the coaches to vote for him, and I bet he had no complaints in doing so.
You're insinuating oral sex was performed by Cat on the coaches?
I'm saying I don't think it had to stop there, Dave. I think he is open season on Karl Anthony Towns as long as you're a man.
Okay. We're moving on and wrapping up.
He hopes they wrapped up.
Baseball. Pitchers and catchers report to spring training soon. Players after that. The Yankees did absolutely nothing in this offseason except re-sign someone, Cody Bellinger. That was their big get, a guy who was on the team last year.
Ooh,
and they're trying to pass this off as, all right, Yankee fans, you ready to rock?
Yeah, you asked for it.
I have never been this passionless about the New York Yankees in my entire life. They are clearly doing we're going to just take the money. We're going to keep doing good regular season teams. That'll pack the ballpark for it's a 162 game regular season. So 81 regular season games at Yankee Stadium. And we'll get, our 40 to 50,000 people at these regular season games. That's a lot of people. We'll get 3.5 to 4 million people every year. That's what they do. They get fantastic attendances. And then we'll choke like dogs in the playoffs. And that's what's been happening under Hal Steinbrenner and Brian Cashman from day one.
Yeah.
George Steinbrenner died in the year 2010, which means the last Yankees championship was 2009. Technically, that's a George championship. Even if, he wasn't as sharp upstairs as he had been in the past, doesn't matter. He was the owner of the team. That's a George championship. Hal officially takes over in 2010 after George's death. So what I'm saying to you is, under the duo of Hal and Cashman, they've never won a damned thing. And people like Michael Kay, the biggest Yankee propagandist ever, will try telling you, oh, yeah, well, I mean, you got to have a good team and to make the playoffs before you can win. Shut up, Michael. Just shut up. Michael Kay is such a phony, nonsensical dork. Michael, it's the same nightmare on rerun for Yankee fans every single season. This is the New York Yankees. the team of 27 championships. It's different standards. I've got standards as a Knicks fan, standards as a Giants fan, standards as a Yankees fan. Different standards. For the Yankees, you cannot accept these lame, 92-win seasons and then getting kicked out early in the playoffs every year and telling us, well, it's about, luck. No, it ain't. The Dodgers are buying every single good player that they could possibly afford, which is something that the Yankees used to do in a way. They used to have their 4 or 5 homegrown stars and then round out the rest of the roster with the best free agents money could buy. They don't do that anymore. They pass up on Bryce Harper. They pass up on Manny Machado. And now recently, the Yankees need a shortstop. They had Bo Bichette, who wanted to be a Yankee. And Volpe, who's underperformed since his rookie season, is on the shelf. He's not even going to be playing till midway through the year. So there's an actual need for shortstop. And they don't go after Bo Bichette? And Bo Bichette ends up going to the Mets? Which these guys, these baseball players got to understand there's just it's night and day playing for the Yankees versus the Mets. Night and day. We're hearing why it was so miserable on the Mets last year, that the clubhouse couldn't get along, that they all hate each other. Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor are the Mets' 2 biggest stars. And Soto went from the Yankees, where he was so happy being teammates with Aaron Judge. He loved Aaron Boone, the manager. He loved him. And by the way, when the Yankees and Mets played this past season, Soto was hanging out with Judge and Boone, laughing, telling stories. He was hanging out with the Yankees despite playing for the Mets. And now we know why. Francisco Lindor, I guess his wife is either an activist or something. She's working for Mamdani. Or she has something to do with Mamdani.
That's the mayor of New York for those of us who not from New York.
Correct. Zohran Mamdani. And I'm not getting political here. What I constantly remind people is that sports and movies and TV and music and wrestling are wonderful escapes from all of the politics that permeates every single aspect of our society, to the point where I just get a headache now. And this isn't me, one side or the other. This is all sides. Everyone yelling, everyone vitriolic, everyone hyperbolic, everyone annoying. So I just check into sports or movies or wrestling or etc. just to escape. So then when it does pop up in sports or movies or whatever, it's so disheartening, because you're like, I need this as an escape from all of the contemporary social issues and modern day politics, just all of that white noise. I need something to tune out, because it's like I'm allergic to it now.
Hey, Dave, have you ever considered chasing the dragon?
Heroin?
Yeah. For the escape that you seek, it works.
I think that would be very counterproductive for myself, the show.
Well, I mean, maybe
various other
in the long run, but in the beginning, you'd have a nice little.
That's true.
We're gonna have
in the beginning. I can do that's like my early Velvet Underground period, where I'm waiting for the man and stuff. Yeah. But so word is politics were brought up because Lindor's wife is in some administration or is some political advocate for somebody. And it made things very awkward and uncomfortable. at a certain point, it would be nice if people could just enter the next phase of humanity, which is looking at our common interests and the things that we have in common rather than our differences. But I don't think that's ever going to happen unless there's an alien invasion. I'm now convinced of it.
It's coming, David. Don't worry. They're prepping us for it. It's coming. That alien invasion that you mentioned?
The alien invasion?
Buddy. Don't hold your breath. I'm telling you. We've
dude, I'm waiting for it. I've been waiting for it for years. I'm not political. I'm a believer in aliens. Yeah, maybe that's why I'm not political and why it all seems so stupid.
pull off my mask and I'm a fucking alien.
Robert, if you could make him a little lizard.
I'll see what I can do.
I mean, we're going to end the episode, so. Very V of you, Roy. Very V-esque.
I remember that one.
That was the best show ever.
I loved it, David. Every Friday night, 8 p.m., I was there for V, man.
I was like 7 when V came out, and I was like, hey, this is the scariest thing I've ever seen. My little brain has only been watching, Star Wars and Indiana Jones. This is horrifying. Humans ripping off their faces and being lizard people underneath is like, okay, this is so scary. But I was fascinated. And it was always great to be like, oh, this guy's got to be an alien. And then it turns out, nope, he's just a nice, kindly doctor who liked to help children. He wasn't. But his assistant, the nurse, who was really nice to kids, turned out to be the alien.
That's right. Yeah.
The lizard person. Now I'll do it. We have done our time. I must go. I have things to do. But it was wonderful spending this time with you.
Yeah.
Roy Harder, anything to promote?
Not a damn thing, buddy. I got something coming up in the future, but I don't want to blow the wad on those yet. Not yet. I'm going to wait. I'm going to hold off on my plugs. I don't want to saturate the market, as the Roy Harder market, as you say. I like to hold back a little bit, on my appearances, Just saying.
Okay. Fair enough. Robert?
This Friday, I'll be at the Laughing Stock Comedy Club in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It's the Bobby Tamburo and Friends show. Please come out. Please buy tickets. I really would like to be here next week.
Okay. Excellent, guys. That'll do it for the Davey Mac Sports Program. For Robert Tamburo, Roy Harder, I'm Davey Mac. Good night, everybody. Mm-hmm.